Story, the truth behind the new Arizona illegal alien law. Joining us from Washington with reaction, Mary Catherine Ham and Juan Williams, both are Fox News analysts. So, Juan, who is the villain or villains here? Me? Who's the villain?
Well, I don't know how you got... No, I think the one that's filled with chicken feathers here is the U.S. Congress. They have refused to deal with this issue. They've shoved it off, and they've put the people of Arizona in a, terrible position here. Because now, all of a sudden, I got to say, I disagreed with you, Bill. The Hispanics are unified on this issue. They feel that it's racial profiling. I'm not just talking about Hispanics in Arizona, but nationwide. And so they're upset about it.
Well, how do you explain the polls in Arizona that show the majority of people there, including many Hispanics,
no, majority
support the
of people, right. You're exactly right. I think it's 70% of Arizonans are in favor of the law.
Right.
Over half of Americans are in favor of the law.
But let's stay in Arizona, because they're directly affected. Among those 70% are many Hispanics, because the state is very heavily Hispanic. So I'm not buying the fact that Hispanic Americans en masse are against the law. And the other thing is, look, you heard those people in the Talking Points memo, Juan. They were sincere people. They believe it's a racial profiling law. They can pull them over for wherever they want. They believe the left-wing media, Juan. You can't do that unless you're engaged in another police matter. Those people don't know that.
But here's the thing, Bill. Jan Brewer, the governor, and others who have been instrumental in getting this law on the books have been amending the law because they are aware of the...
The law right now says the cops can't do anything unless they're engaged with a person on another matter. So that's the law, Juan.
Look, Bill, you're a tough kid from Long Island. So, look, if you know that if a cop is looking for a reason to mess with you, if the cop picks on some small issue and then says, you know what, you're an illegal alien. That's what you are,
You can sue them for
an
enormous amount of money if they would do that. And that's the danger for the police agencies, that if they do abuse their power, as the Cohen guy said to the Washington Post, that's nice for the cops, by the way. Way to go, Mr. Cohen. It just, Mary Catherine, what bothers me about this is that I believe many good Americans oppose this law based on false information. They don't understand what it says. They don't know why Arizona is desperate and had to do it. This law is to push the federal government to do something. Arizona's bankrupt.
Yeah.
They don't have any money. They can't do this anymore. We're going to talk to an Arizona sheriff coming up right behind us, who doesn't like the law, by the way. We wanted this guy on. But he knows his situation, his county, Pima County, is a desperate situation. Something had to be done.
Well,
go ahead.
You're right. And they did want to force the federal government's hand, and they wanted to force the federal government's hand in a way that they could sort of scrap the amnesty idea without first dealing with the borders, which is what people require if you're going to do an amnesty part later. I am not without my concerns about the bill. I'm naturally skeptical of how government can overrun these rules that are in the bill, even though I admit that they're in there. But the media has been incredibly dishonest about what's actually in the bill. And just to give you the double standard here, the New York Times and other outlets required exact accuracy in Tea Party homemade signs about the actual bill language for the health care bill. But when it comes to something that they're against, they just go off half-cocked and they have no idea what they're talking about.
On the op-ed Times, as we just pointed out, is on the board of the organization funding the anti-Arizona boycott and everything. I mean, this is crazy. But Juan, come on. Now, this is what I don't get about you. You are concerned about regular Hispanic Americans being pulled over, inconvenienced, embarrassed by the police, all right, because the police are hunting for illegal aliens. And so am I. I don't want that to happen. That's wrong.
Good.
But I believe that most of the Arizona law enforcement isn't going to do that. And this just gives the state another tool in which to control the problem. You are required by law, Juan, if you are a foreigner, to carry ID on your person. Why do you think the federal law says that, Juan? Why?
Well, that's fine, Bill. But let me just say to you, I think you're wrong about the crime problem. I mean, if you look at a city like...
How can it be wrong about the crime problem? There's 8 million people here. There's 1.5 in Phoenix, and we have 16,000 more crimes in New York. How can I be wrong about it?
Because I've been down to, like Juarez, Mexico is on fire. It's so much crime, so much murder. Right across the border is El Paso. They don't have a crime problem. One of the safest cities in America.
We're talking Phoenix, Arizona, Juan. What do you think is driving? It's the kidnapping capital of the United States.
Well, it's drugs. That's not illegal immigration.
Of course it's drugs. And who's taking the drugs over? Who's taking them over?
That's right. As well.
But illegal immigration is not the same thing as
There
a
are
major
illegal
drug
people
war.
taking the drugs over, Juan. I'm not discriminating. I'm saying you stop it all.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. Stop it all. But
Stop
I'm just
it
saying
all.
you don't have to make that the same as illegal immigration.
Oh, come on,
That's
Juan.
why you get.
Juan, who do you think's coming over
Listen,
with the drugs?
I think lots of people are coming over with the drugs, including people who are American citizens.
All right.
But I think the reason why Rick Perry in Texas says this is not for Texas, the reason why Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio, there are lots of people who are conservative Republicans who have trouble with this law.
Of course, and I'm not
Yes,
I'm not casting aspersions on them, but all of them want Hispanic votes. Mary Catherine, go ahead. Go ahead.
Look, there are honest disagreements to have about this law. The fact is that what the Arizona legislature did in amending it actually made it stronger in its protections, removed the word solely about using racial components, and they actually said that it can't be lawful contact anymore. It's a lawful stop or detainment. So they're making it stronger. There are protections in here, and the system, I think, will work for people who have grievances. And all these lefties complaining about civil liberties cannot also be for biometric national ID cards if they're worried about that, because DNA as a requirement for citizens is ridiculous.
We'll get to that when, and I hope that is part of the federal legislation.
Well, hypocrisy is so ridiculous.
Well, it isn't hypocrisy. It's dishonesty. The media has not defined this law with any sense of accuracy at all. None. We just did it.
That's the truth.
We just did it.
You got that
We
right.
did talk
We
about
just did it. Mary Catherine Juan, thank you very much. Directly.